Welcome back everyone. In this episode we're at a historic Mildura building that was nearly lost to history until Barbie and her family rediscovered it, restored it and opened it to the public. Stick around. I'm with Barbie Cornell here at the Langtree Hall. Barbie, this is a bit of a secret you've got here. Not many people know about it and people should know about it because there's a significant history here. Tell me what you've just told me a few moments ago off camera.
Okay, this place was actually a family project in the early days when we found that my family owned the oldest building in Mildura in behind the family business. And when time came to be, we decided to move it and restore it and reopen it to what it is you see today.
Yep. So the Langtree Hall, obviously, we're not in Langtree Avenue at the moment, but you were telling me earlier how it was sort of unknown. It's sort of the documentation of the building got lost, and you were your family become accidental owners, I suppose.
Yes.
Can you tell me the lead up to like the history of the building, what it was used for first, and then how your family come across owning it?
As in according to history, in 1889, the population of Mildura was going from 250 people having to no place to meet and have meetings or entertainment or something.
Yep.
So the hall was actually built in Langtree Avenue, where the mall is now, basically bang smack in the middle there.
Yep, so between 8th and 9th Street?
In between 8th and 9th Street. And it's quite a significant little spot because it ended up being a part of the essential business area in the time. So it was a very minor little building in 1889, and then as in businesses grew from Madden Avenue, Deacon Avenue, also expanded into Langtree Avenue, hence why businesses started to expand through. And the powers that be decided that they didn't want a hall on the main street.
Yep.
So
that area of Mildura we're talking about was more of a residential area in the early days, and then it became the city, and now the city heart that we know it today. So the hall sort of got pushed out a little bit, didn't it, or forgotten?
Forgotten, more or less, in the time.
Yeah.
But in the time frame of being 1889, as in saying that it was a meeting place for everything, it was actually a skating rink, courthouse, Sunday school, church service, civic reception, dances, concerts, benefit night, anything the public would have used, it was held here in this hall as in such. So when you're actually looking at pictures of inside halls, you think, oh yes, big hall.
It's probably this one.
Yeah, so the size of the building as it stands now is the size of the building that was first built.
Okay.
Population was only 250 people, and not everybody came here all in the one time. So I'm saying that it was a very small settlement in the time. Businesses started to arrive. Well, in the time frame of population growing, and businesses started to arrive, as in saying before that the powers to be decided they didn't want a hall on the main street. Yeah. So the owner of the time was Samuel Risby, and he was a sawmiller. Okay. And he decided to roll the building back 56 feet. Yep. Everything you would see here is timber, Murray pine timber, as in what you see. And the width of it, I still can't imagine how they would have rolled the building back as in this size, 56 feet, which is no mean feat as in even that time. So chains and tractor engines and obviously people pulled it back 56 feet and then proceeded to build 2 brick shops on the front, which is where the City Heart office is now. And he basically built those 2 shops with a passageway in between because he still wanted the entrance from the main street to get into the hall as what it would be here today.
Mallee ingenuity.
Yes, and it would be. And so in that time frame when he had tenants in the front shop, he then turned his hands back to the hall, and then looking at it, he said, well, it's still too small, so we'll add another 40 feet onto the back of the building, and in that 40 feet, he he built the stage,
Which is this area behind us.
which is the area behind us.
Yeah.
And we have one photograph that was found later in time that's showing us what it originally looked like, as in such. So it can be.
It's an incredible story, and I'm sort of a little bit dumbfounded because I've lived in Mildura my whole life, and until recent years, I didn't even know this place existed. And I suppose the significance of the building as well, when we talk about the people that would have been in here for civic events or visiting politicians or whatever. So there's
Rally system, it should be, there's times,
Yeah. The next step, what happened after all this?
Right in 1892, having built and standed it and built the hall as in such, and built the stage, it then renamed itself as being a building of entertainment.
Yep.
In time when the settlement had crisis, this became the venue for the Royal Commission into the Chaffey Brothers in 1896. So
Wow, there would have been some yelling and shouting going on in here, wouldn't there?
it would have been. It's a time, but when you're looking at the draft of what went on, it was no mean feat. I'm still dumbfounded that it was held here, but it was to be, 1900, and it was actually a valedictory social to Mrs. Stans, who's the lady in the middle, and that was more or less the first time frame when you're looking at all the prominent people of Mildura, because W.B. Chaffey's in that as well. There's quite significant early people. In 1913, it was revamped and renamed the Lyric Theatre, where they then had operetta shows, stage shows, picture theatre shows.
Would have been an incredible time.
And it was really, the entertainment side of it was still really keen, because it was actually the starting of the silent movies.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine having an orchestra playing here. Vaudeville shows, travelling vaudeville shows and entertainment shows. It was also a gymnasium, display room, showroom, because basically you're looking at a display area here that shows the interior things that were on sale in time. So it was a hall of variety, as in the Dutch.
And where does C.J. de Garis come into it?
Okay, C.J. de Garis, in 1916 to 1920, the owner of the hall at that time was Harold Furs, and he was the editor and writer of the Mildura Telegraph paper.
Okay.
So when it came to be in 1920, C.J. de Garis, I decided to buy 3 papers, which was printed at that time frame. So you actually have Mildura Telegraph paper, you have the Merbane Irrigation, and you have the Mildura Cultivator.
Okay.
And he bought those 3 papers and merged them all into Sunraysia Daily. So that was August 1920 when that happened to be. And then, so when the printing place finished, because everything went to Sunraysia Daily, this building became empty. 1920s to 1930s, we have evidence that it was actually a billiard room with 4 tables in it. And possibly by the end of 1930, 2 tables of those 4 were transferred to another business, with the Recreation Club, and the other 2, I'm not sure what happened to them. But 1936 is when my family came to Mildura. So proceeded to move to Mildura, found a place to open the barbershop and tobacconist, and then discovered that the hall was a billiard room. We then returned it back to a billiard room as in such. So there's a couple of photos there that will show you the interior of the billiard room as it was in 1975, which is when we closed it down. But over the years from 1936 to 1975, we have many people learn to play billiards and snooker.
Now, your family, when you first purchased the hall, you didn't realise at the time the significance of it until you... Tell me that story, because that's incredible.
It was a sort of a time in 1984. My mother was a member of the Historical Society, and she was looking through some of the early photos, and she said, well, this is a beautiful photo. Prominent people in the photos this time, yes. and on the back of it, it just had Langtree Hall, Langtree Avenue. And the question came, where was it in Langtree Avenue? And nobody knew at that point in time because more or less 80 years had passed.
Yeah.
And so she went to the newspapers themselves and started
Did all the
research.
And it was sitting right under her nose the whole time.
And it was sitting right under her nose right the whole time. And one particular one, when she found out that it was used for roller skating rink entertainment, more or less, as in time. And she decided that, okay, this is where we go. And one particular ad had a block number on it. And I haven't found that one yet. But it said, extension to a hall. So she thought, oh, that's a bit strange. So she went round to council and said, where in today's locality is this block? Yeah. And he came back and said 63 Langtree Avenue. Yeah. 63 Langtree Avenue was my family shop was. Yeah. And being the billiard room as in such, because with that particular time frame, the billiard room had gone. Yeah. So
that's like finding a little gold nugget in Mildura's history, isn't it?
Yes.
That's incredible that you can be researching something so in depth and looking into the history and have all these photos and have everything and you're probably walking into the building on a daily basis.
It really is quite a lot of information at the time.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I was never really interested in the history as such.
We're not when we're younger, are we?
No.
A wiser head on younger shoulders would be good.
There's a time when you just, it was a period of time where you look at it and you think, well, what are we going to do with this? Oh, okay, let it go.
It is what it is. And,
so in the time of being now interested in history, I can look back and see what we could have done, what we had done, but knowing now that we've restored it back to what it would be. We continued the hall, the billiard room, until 1975. Yeah. By that time, the clubs had their own tables and they were also allowed to sell drinks. We sold drinks.
So this is places like the Workers and
the Workers, the Settlers, and the Mildura Club.
Yeah, okay.
They all had their own because they were all significant of different people. And also to the time when the local cowboys used to pinch the black balls.
The Langtree Cowboys.
8 balls.
Bit before my time, but I've heard plenty of stories.
Yes. And of course, when you buy the billiard set, there was never ever extra black ball. Yeah. So of course, there was a case of, right, okay, we've had enough. And the numbers started to dwindle down, so it's in time. So we closed the billiard room down in 1975, and then in 1979, without knowing the full history of the hall, we basically took half the hall to enlarge the shop, and then in that particular time frame, I was working for my father. So in the close of closing the billiard room down, we'd taken half the hall to enlarge the shop, and then this left this remaining part as a storeroom. With many years it was used as a storeroom, and then my mother, discovering the history of the hall, decided that, okay, having closed the business down, we needed something to do, and then at that point in time discovering that yes indeed we had the oldest building. So having been a historical society person, and we had lost a lot of our old buildings, one is the Ozone Theatre. There was a case of we needed to preserve what we had and what were we going to do with it. So my mother decided that she would ask a young builder to come along and help restore it. And
so that included dismantling it and removing it and putting it
well,
back
actually, they're restoring it on its original site first. Yeah. And we celebrated its 100th birthday. Yeah. And at that point in time, my mother said, would you like to help me? And of course, I said yes. Yeah. Little did I know that when I did say yes, that I would be still here 40 years later, still doing the history and telling people about early Mildura's history and what this all was. Yes. Yeah. And so in 1989, we celebrated its 100th birthday. Yeah. We have many historical meetings here. We've had various group meetings held here as in time on its original site. And then in 1991, my father sold the land and the shop. And I said, well, hands off the hall, that's mine.
Yeah.
I then had to turn around and find a property to put it on. And this particularly where we are located was nothing in the backyard and a laneway at the back. So that was easy access.
Yeah.
And then it came to a point that the builder and I decided, well, which way are we going to move this hall? But then decided that we would dismantle it, board by board, stud by stud, and rebuilt it. And in the process of when we restored it the first time round, all the ceiling boards were stripped, sanded and painted. They were actually originally painted green and the walls were painted grey. But when we dismantled it the second time round, as in time, we elected to do all the boards and just put the back wall as the naming so that people can see which it came to be. And then reopened to the public here in 1993.
That is an incredible story. Barbie, thanks so much for showing me around. I've learned so much. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed by the history in this place. And like we said right at the start, it's a bit of a secret squirrel, isn't it? So,
yes, it is. It'll be, and hopefully that if anybody does see this video, they can be sure that they can come in and be welcome and be encouraged to learn about our Mildura's history.
I'll put as much info in the description as possible of how to get in contact with you and where we are here. Now, of course, this is part of the whole Chaffey Trail.
Yes.
And we're going to do a little bit of a series on the Chaffey Trail because there's so many interesting sites and history as part of the trail. So again, Barbie, thank you very much for your time.
No worries. Thank you very much for coming in and hopefully enjoy it all.
Good on you. Well, there you have it, guys. The Langtree Hall here in Mildura. This is part of the Chaffey Trail series that we're doing. So if you like this video, check this one out up here. But be good, stay safe, and bye for now.